something that is just something we note and hope nobody gets hurt there?
No, it's a recorded easement. It was recorded in 1983, so it is a recorded public access easement.
But the question I have, though, is what are we getting into here? Because if it means 25 feet from the bluff's edge, that is not a good place to be if you're diving for abalone.
Right. Well, this trail is not to facilitate abalone diver access to the shoreline. It's to facilitate a nature trail for viewing. So the trail that we're designing through boardwalk, fencing, and signage goes along a 10-foot vertical public access easement to a 25-foot wide lateral bluff easement and ends 50 feet from a wetland area with an end of trail sign. So it's not facilitating access down to the shoreline.
So on this photo that you've given?
The easement is in yellow.
Yes, but where's the lateral trail down that gets you to the water, gets you down to the beach?
It's kind of coming out of that willow patch. There's a drainage, and I believe people are walking
right on to the
or climbing down.
The south side here?
Actually, on the north side of the property.
Up here?
That willow ravine that comes down along that northern property boundary. I believe people are getting access down there. Since about a year ago, John, you could probably comment on this, re-erected the fence and put no trespassing, and since that time I haven't seen people accessing the property, where previously people were parking in the pool out there and going down along the property line there and also the adjacent neighbors. So there has been pretty long-term abalone diver access there. But as I said, we're not building a trail to facilitate that use.
But would it be fair to say that this would look like you are facilitating access? If I'm carrying my equipment down there, I'd sure like to have a boardwalk and easy access trail down to that bluff. I mean, what is happening here, or what may happen here, is rather different from protecting coastal access, which I support and I think it should be permitted here. But I'm also concerned here about the reasonable concerns of the property owner. If he's got a bunch of divers going down there, and we've had enough serious accidents in this county with people who are inexperienced and so forth, if we're facilitating for the ability to walk down, get out there, and then pretty comfortably
go down the bluff,
right down to the bluff edge, is there any way that I'm just raising
that we as the land manager could prevent that from happening?
That's good. You anticipated my question.
I don't know if reasonably we can. I mean, we'll be out there regularly for monitoring.
No, I didn't mean that. I meant in terms of making this, when you mentioned the abalone prescriptive easement, immediately I saw a problem with this.
Right. That's probably incorrect usage of the word, because a prescriptive easement, it means that there's been a prescriptive right asserted, where in this case that hasn't been the situation. The situation was that there was an actual easement required because of the historic use of the site, that the Coastal Commission recognized that this was an area where there'd been historic coastal access, and that that the nexus existed for requiring it from the landowner at the time for the development that they were proposing. So we can't, I mean, legally an easement is not open to the public till it's officially open with a management plan signed by the State Coastal Conservancy, the Coastal Commission, and now we've added the county planning and building services to that accessway management plan. But we have not prevented people from using public access easements before they've been constructed. I don't know what the legality of that. That would be a question maybe the Coastal Commission could address.
Well, I guess what I'm concerned about here is there are all kind of access points for abalone diving.
Yeah.
But when you have an easement that's been authorized, essentially, in this case, by the folks that are taking care of this, and it's authorizing this as an access point, and yet this does not look like this.
An access
reminds me a little bit of the Elk, if you've been down there, and see how you get down off the bluff in Elk. But there's no official agency, as far as I know, or there's no that has no standing that there's a rope there, and if you slip or whatever, you're going to fall a long way, and with equipment and everything else. So the question I'm having here is there any way we could meet some of the property owners' concern by posting signs saying no abalone access, no diving from here? Because I think it will encourage people to come down who are looking for a spot. It's all jammed up further down the road. You drive till you see, I can pull off here, it's easy access, let's check it out. And in
Well-
that sense here, I am concerned about the diving from a point here, because I don't see much of a lateral access. It looks like some crevices in the rock. If you crawl up, you will probably make it up, but that's not access.
I agree, it's unsafe access, and it's not on the abalone card, so the people that were using it were tended to be local ab divers who knew about it. And as I said, that access is stopped as far as I can observe. We do abalone outreach there during low tides, during the abalone season, so we've observed people where they go and where they don't go anymore. That was addressed, I believe, by the coastal permit administrator when he required an additional permit condition that there be a sign that says no beach access at the trailhead, which we'd install. And then I'm out of time, but I'm asking your question. And then an end of trail sign before the willow thicket. People have to walk through the willow thicket in order to get to that ravine. And so hopefully that area will re-veg as it's been closed and discourage use back there.
Well, I'd be inclined here to say that one of the conditions, if it could be imposed, and I guess I go to staff, whether we even have any authority to impose, but perhaps the land trust itself could agree to a condition, which would be a sign at where it says no beach access, no abalone diving.
I don't know if that we
well,
can legally
no.
say no abalone diving.
Well,
We don't have the authority.
Please.
James Bernard, Mendocino Land Trust. We and other coastal landowners do not have the authority necessarily to prohibit abalone diving in particular locations. We can post a sign that would say no beach access or no abalone diving, but that doesn't necessarily stop the access, as I think all of us are well aware.
sure.
We have a history at Navarro Point of, and in that particular area, this is the former Chandel property, which is a pretty well-known local name of generational background. There is abalone diving, has been customary use. That's what we should be saying today, not it's historic, it's not prescriptive, it's customary. In this particular area, there's a goat path down the cliff face that many abalone divers have historically used. We have removed all of the stakes which abalone divers have planted on our land at Navarro Point, and they popped right back up again this year. We have a poorly managed sport recreational fishery with a state agency not managing it very well and allowing access across private property. In this particular case, our design is clearly to provide viewing access, scenic access. There are amazing views from this particular piece of property at the bluff edge. And